and I'll show you afterwards. Just like with everybody else, if you're not happy with like the way you're saying things, just let me know. Oh, and don't do what Marcia did, which was like, she like got into the swing of the chair and tried to stay still. You don't have to be stiff, but just don't move. Yeah, because it looked a little bit like she was doing the twist.
Okay, no twisting.
Hello, I'm Diana Belchase, and I'm here with my dear friend, the effervescent Elaine Viets. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I'm so glad you're here with us today.
Oh, I'm delighted.
Elaine has had the most remarkable series that keeps me laughing and entertained, called the Dead End Job series, right?
It's it.
And I'm so pleased to announce that book 12 is out, bored stiff. And it will not bore you in the least. And it's all about seaside concessions, right?
This is the ultimate beach book. It takes place in the mythical town of Riggs Beach, and there is, in South Florida, very hot competition for beach concessions. Those things like parasailing, paddle boarding, surfboard renting, jet skis, and there aren't as many tourists as there used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So what we found out, and this has actually been in the newspapers, the beach concession operators start sabotaging one another. They will steal boats, they will steal paddle boards, they will cut the shroud lines on a jet ski,
Mm-hmm.
which is highly dangerous, and they do it just before spring break when the big crowd of tourists come down. So they want to put their competitors out of business.
Well, it's pretty lousy in real life, but it makes for a great murder mystery. Now, board stiff is not a surfboard. What kind of board is this?
It's a paddleboard, and for those of you not familiar with paddleboarding, it's slightly wider than a surfboard, and you stand up on it, if you're lucky. And what you do is you rise up from a kneeling position, and then you take a long paddle, and it's graduated by your height, and it's great for your core muscles. You take the paddleboard and you sort of push yourself forward through the water.
Oh, so like those girls at the beginning clip of Hawaii Five-0 where they're with their beautiful lays? Is that how they get those beautiful bodies?
That's, well, that
and being 20.
being 20 is much easier to have one at 20.
So now I want to know about the research. Are you a real swimming person, beach person, paddle board person? Was this something that you knew how to do, or is this something you had to research for the book?
I researched it, and for the book I took paddleboard lessons. And I was originally going to set the book where the paddleboarding took place on the ocean until I had my first lesson, at which point I learned that there's waves out there, and it's much harder to stand up on a paddleboard that wobbles than stand up from the floor from a kneeling position. But I managed to do it. And once I was up, it was wonderful because it's very quiet. It's not like being on a jet ski, which is like a motorcycle on the water. And so I could actually paddle close to the shore. I could see the nesting birds, and I could look in people's windows.
Which from the street writer is all we ever do.
We're voyeurs, okay?
You have to see it to write it. Did it hurt your knees though?
No, it didn't. And falling off doesn't hurt at all because you land in the water and it's nice and warm. The first lesson I took on the Middle River, which is a very calm area in Fort Lauderdale. The second one I took on the Intracoastal, which there were a lot of yachts, and so there were heavy waves. And I fell off very early and wound up on all fours with my rear end sticking up in the air. It was lovely. There's no photos. I'm so grateful.
Dropped.
But it gave me a real feel for what it was like, for how hard it is, but for how much fun it is.
Well, I will leave the paddleboarding to you because I don't think I'm going to be as good at it as you are.
I wasn't good, but I did stand up.
Well, one thing that Elaine is exceptionally good at is her radio show, the Dead End Job Show.
The Dead End Job Show, and it's on Radio Ear Network, and it's Radio Ear Network, and it's one word. And I interview people with interesting and offbeat jobs. So, which it sort of grew out of my series.
Well, some of the worst jobs in America, I remember the one about the wedding dress person, and it was so hysterical about these bridezillas coming in and wanting all these things done to their dresses.
I don't know what happens when a sensible, smart woman marries, but putting that engagement ring on her finger, there's a disconnect in the brain.
Well, what I want to know is, your character goes from job to job, and each job is more miserable than the other. And every time there's a dead body, will she ever find standard employment?
No, I've got 2 more books in the contract. She's got 2 more lousy jobs coming up.
Well, at least it's her lousy jobs and not our lousy jobs.
I have a very good job.
Well, I want you all to look for Elaine online on Radio Ear Network. You can catch the show pretty much any time because since it is online, and you will be delighted. If you haven't been reading her series or if you haven't gotten bored stiff yet, I highly recommend it. You will not be sorry for getting this book. And I want to thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. And if you need to find anything, you go to my website, which is my name, www.elaineviets.com.
Well, thank you. I'm here with Elaine Viets. I'm Diana Belchase. Keep reading. Thank you.